Hello, everybody, and welcome to, I think, the 20th ever episode of Press A2 Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Hujik, and with me today is Taylor Severn.
Hello.
Scott McPherson. I guess he's muted. And Brandon Williams.
Yo,
That's not muted.
it's just stupid.
You might as well.
Anyways, and today we are going to be talking about Until Dawn. I didn't even realize that came out. I was just like, what? Halo 5's out? Anyways.
We're talking that long? Like, I know we do this at night, but... Jeez,
Really?
Dawn's a long time from now.
It's going to be a really long stream.
I hope you
Got
guys
the
are...
wine.
We talk until dawn.
Yeah, that's the joke that we're making, Scott. Get on board.
But I actually said it out loud.
No,
Thank you,
Jacob
thank you.
said it out loud as well.
Anyways, away from the really, really bad jokes, today's stream is going to be a little unusual in that none of us have actually played this damn game. We've
You
all
did need to mention that.
simply watched people.
Don't own a PlayStation 4.
It's just I have to own it. It's
We are the truest of modern gamers.
honestly like we look at
Ladybug.
the game. We don't even play the games that we talk about. It's awesome. But I think we all had very strong opinions about the game, which is why we all want to do it. Hence why we're here.
That's our Halloween November
You
episode.
ever wondered why we're here?
Like
To
why
talk
we're
about Until
alive.
Dawn stuff. We were through this.
Our entire purpose in life is to talk about Until Dawn. But yeah, I think we'll start off first with the very brief introductions of how are you guys? It's been a while since we did a podcast. Hungry. Yeah.
I
Potato
feel this
soup.
That's
did-
good.
Cream of potato soup.
You can go get your damn soup, okay?
Really
don't
didn't
need
do
you
a
here.
podcast. I feel the viewership is down in the tanker right now, and until we salvage
Don?
this scene, we will continue to lose viewers.
We will continue to lose our no viewers. Yes,
We're gonna go
Um,
minus viewers. It's gonna be great.
That
gonna
would be
break.
impressive, though.
that would be impressive.
First ever. World's first.
World's first Press A to podcast. But yeah, we like I was saying, we all watched this game more so than played. So I thought I would ask, instead of when did you first play this game, who did you watch stream this game? Or
We're not pimping someone out. Jacob, don't do this. We're not pimping other people.
Why not? All right, fine.
If this was this would probably be the game to watch instead of play, because there's not actually that much gameplay to it.
You're right.
That's not true. There's a fuck ton of QTEs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's QT.
Unless if you fuck them up, then there's not a lot.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to take away from the actual experience of like
No,
if you have the chance, play this game. It looks
Yeah.
awesome, but like I don't own a PlayStation. It's a 4, right? That you need. None of us own it.
Yep.
If this was on PC, I would have bought it in a heartbeat. But stepping away
yes.
from that, Taylor's right. This is a game that you can watch a playthrough of and pretty much get most of the experience, just because there isn't any like deep strategy. Actually, no. It would be kind of interesting to play the game and see your own choices and your own failures.
Jacob, you're all wishy-washy.
I am. I really maybe I don't know. I don't think I
This
am.
is why people don't like you. You have to have firm, extreme opinions and be loud about them.
You have to be a
Or
Sith.
else no one cares about you.
I got it. Okay. Well, I believe that Until Dawn is the worst thing I've ever seen, and I hate it.
You
Did I do
haven't
it right?
seen
Take that
podcasts.
back.
Anyways, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
It's a choose your own adventure style kind of game.
Exactly. So, for those of you that don't know, Until Dawn is a new game. Came out, what was it, a month ago? Something like that?
Some time ago, but recent.
Where it's basically it's a horror movie as a game. You are interacting with it primarily through some light puzzle solving from like the third person perspective, fixed camera angles most often.
I wouldn't say it has
scavenge.
that much puzzle solving.
Yeah,
It's
scavenge.
more you just look around and decide choices that each character makes, and those choices decide that character's fate.
Exactly.
and the fate of others.
And possibly other characters. Yeah.
If anyone is familiar with the Quantum Dream games, such as Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, that's the type of game it is.
Heavy Rain, talked about that. Go look
We
it up.
have. And this game is, again, it's very, very similar to it, and I would actually like to compare it. Because I feel like the style of game, I feel like I'm really echoey, unfortunately. Just moved. There's nothing in this room to contain my voice. My amazing voice, but
Yeah, because definitely hurting that.
Yeah. Then.
hold on, I'll try and talk quieter and closer to the microphone.
Get
Anyways,
some soundproofing. Jesus. That's so cheap.
This is the exact
big
thing people
schnoz.
come into this podcast to view.
this is what they
why we can't have nice things.
this is what they expect. Come on. Anyways, it's basically what the type of gameplay that Quantic Dreams games have been trying to do. It's this weird like interactive movie, and I feel like they've been doing it better and better with each game. Maybe they peaked in Heavy Rain, but one of the biggest problems they've had with it is the writing. No.
I don't think so, but I mean, Heavy Rain is good, but
No, but I'm saying like Quantic Dream, the studio, peaked with Heavy Rain.
oh, I mean, well, they did Until Dawn, didn't they? Not?
No, it's a different
Oh.
studio. It was written and developed mostly by two.
I actually really don't know who produced the game.
I can't remember. Produced would probably be Sony, but the developer / writer
Yeah, developed.
are actually like two movie like buffs, or not buffs, but like industry like they're movie writers. Sorry, it took a long time to get out. And all the actors are like very well known actors. So like
Half the reason I enjoyed it.
yeah, because apparently one person's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent Grant Ward,
That guy.
who
El
like
Hydra.
I didn't like him in the show. Spoilers. But after watching this game, he's my favorite character in the show.
He's Mike, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike was pretty cool. He a bit of a douche.
It
but-
sucks that
Going
he's
back
not
to
on
the
the
writers.
podcast anymore.
Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah, it's horrible.
Rip.
I mean, his
just-
box is still there, like right there.
We should do something about that.
Yeah. Taylor, you want to get on that? Anyways. So basically the Quantic Dream style of games were interactive movies. They were okay. They were kind of hit and miss. Very cool ideas in them, but they were never like quite fully developed. And the plots were always like started off really interesting and cool, and then they ended off in like completely bonkers territory. It's a bit of a shame. With Until Dawn, the interactive movie kind of aspect, or specifically it's an interactive horror movie, was done, I want to say, perfectly. Like this was the best example of this type of game. The story was excellent. It played to your expectations, and you had a real impact on the game.
Well, I'd argue that like it's so good because it had a limited scope. Where in like other games, like you can choose like branching paths. In Until Dawn, there's only one direct path you can take, and you like your choices only decide who's alive by the end. It doesn't decide any other factor of the story.
Which
There are a few smaller things, but that's generally true.
That is true.
and sorry, were you
But they
taking
do it
that?
well enough that you think that that choice you're gonna make could possibly affect something else.
Yeah, like I wanted to ask Taylor, with what you were saying, are you taking that as a knock against the game, or are you just saying that about the game? Because
It's more I'm saying about the game. They were able to, they lowered their scope, and so they were able to focus in and make a very cohesive experience. And like, it's not like I don't think it's the best game ever made, and it's the pinnacle of the genre of what it could be. But for what it did it simply and strongly.
yeah, I have to agree. I really think that the fact that the story, like Brandon said, the story was focused, but it made you think that you had choices the entire way through, which some people may take as a negative, like like a Mass Effect situation, like I made all these choices, but they all ended up leading to some colors. In this game,
That's fair.
In this game, it was just like a very linear story, but it gave the impression that, and it really tricked you into thinking like there's so many different branching paths, even though it's just like small choices that kind of like loop back in. but it was enough, and it also let them again tell an amazing story. Well, maybe not amazing, but it was really entertaining at least. Story with all that, just having like at least 2 specific characters like must make it. Sorry, we're gonna get into some spoilers on this game.
Before you get into that, and I hate to break it, I hate to break your role here, but the title on the Twitch stream is completely wrong.
Ah! Oh no! We are actually Banjo-Kazooie has one of the best horror movie stories I have ever. I mean, a person comes back from the dead.
My childhood.
Shit. Until dawn.
I feel like this is like the podcast where like we're just having these issues and like people are seeing the real deal behind all this. This is like no smoke and mirrors, guys.
Pressing a
We can't
podcast.
afford those.
Behind the scenes.
We can't afford it.
We can't afford curtains.
As we can tell from your backdrop.
I don't want to get it. It's too far away.
Please don't do that on screen.
No.
I have this sick glow-in-the-dark Star Trek poster that I want to put up right behind me, but I had a podcast to do. Anyways, but yeah, Until Dawn I think did the whole narrative, like they did it excellently. And one of the things that helped them do it was the way they, not the totems, but the butterfly effect, how they tracked it. I think that was amazing because not only did it tell you when significant moments were happening during your playthrough, when you were going back through the for your second or third replay, it actually encouraged that because you're like, oh, like this was the choice. This is where that choice happened. I wonder what would happen if I did something different.
We're talking about the butterfly effect. I kind of zoned out for a bit.
Yes.
Well, if you
Okay.
look at the deaths, if you do something different, it usually results in the death.
Yeah.
If you don't like watch that and kind of understand what's going on, you're probably gonna die.
Most of them do lead
I
to
feel
or warn
Until
of death.
Dawn looked at the genre of this kind of game, like a choose your own adventure sort of thing, and said, "What is frustrating about this kind of game?"
Yeah.
And they put
QTEs.
a lot of mechanics into the game to alleviate some of that frustration and kind of help the player. And I think those are actually some really smart choices. And the butterfly effect is one of those for the reasons Jacob's saying. Like it tells you exactly what your choices end up doing.
Yeah.
Like that can be a problem where people feel that their choices kind of feel arbitrary. It's like, well, I did this, and then I don't know what came of that. I don't know what that caused.
Like, did it lead to something? And this way,
so it felt like nothing.
yeah. But
And then this game with the butterfly effect, it tells you, yeah, no, it led to nothing, but still,
but at least like there was a choice there.
yeah, and it at least is upfront and says, yeah, nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Slight.
Well, looking back on it, the game has a lot of those. And like, if you take it on face value, like those are bald-faced lies. Like it tells you this is going to mean something, and it doesn't come into anything. But like while you're playing it, and even afterwards, you're just like that was like it didn't have to lead to something because it made me feel something. Another point of the game mechanic that they introduced, like Taylor was saying, was the totems. I think the totems were absolutely brilliant. It let people. Apparently people are quiet compared to me. If you want to check now. The totems allowed collectors to always want to look for something, and it rewarded them for it. Most of them were pretty easy to find, so most people who were playing would find them naturally. And what they allowed for was you knew, like, it gave you something to look for once you've seen them. Like, okay, like I have to try and look for this scene, and it also foreshadowed certain events and gave you like it made you tense the entire time. I remember when you find the totem where Mike.
Handcuffed.
Yes, exactly.
Spoilers.
Again, there's going to be some spoilers in this one. But when Mike gets his hand caught in the bear trap, and then the entire rest of the thing, people are just expecting like, holy shit, like don't touch anything, don't look at anything.
Don't touch the tables.
Yeah,
Don't touch the tables.
because you're worried that he's going to get his hand cut off, and in actual fact, nothing like that moment doesn't come up for like another hour or so, and when it does, it's very apparent like what it is.
But when you see that totem, you have no fucking clue.
Yeah, and you
Just
get
know,
like a
like,
visceral
Mike
reaction
has to
too.
watch out for a
Yeah,
table.
exactly.
Like that's it.
Yeah, because like problem of the genre, as I was saying, these problems is that like it's like just says choose a path, left or right, and you choose right, and then you die, and you're like, well, what the fuck? How was I supposed to know? You're supposed to pick up this totem, and it's like, go left, nuts. And there you go. It's a bit more subtle than that, but
Yeah, I don't know if that example is quite correct because
that exact sample is not an actual literal example.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give too many spoilers because I know I don't care.
But like, just to clarify, like I don't think anywhere in the game it's if there's an arbitrary choice going left or right, I don't think it'll ever lead to a character's death.
No, there is.
There is.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because
face.
from my memory, it's more of like if you do something against the character or something actually stupid, that will lead to a death. Or if you fail very certain QTEs. I was under the impression that there's never an arbitrary choice or an arbitrary death. Like there is always he died because you made a dumb decision or because you didn't play to this character.
I feel like there can be situations like that, and that's what the totems are there to like alleviate. It's like, hey, you should probably do this. You should probably not do this. You should probably avoid that.
I mean, there is those like 5 sections of different totems. Like there's the death, the loss, the advice or something.
Guidance.
Danger, and there is another one, but
it was about getting something.
Yeah, but all the totems serve a specific purpose, and as long as you remembered which color was what, I mean, you could look it up, but as long as you kept in mind what each totem meant, it would help you along, because there was lots of times where somebody was talking like, oh god, like we could die in this section, and they're like, no, you picked up a lost totem. That means someone else is going to die, not that character. But yeah, it was just a very, very interesting mechanic. Like, it was in theme because of all the Inuit, because of all the First Nations trappings of the game. It's very, very well done. But Taylor, you were saying about how it helped cater to the storytelling.
Yeah, it's a very story-focused game where it wants to tell you its story, and that's something I can really appreciate. Because there are some games that are like that straight up won't tell you the story, and then like the game developers kind of seemingly get off on not telling you the story, and he's like, "Huh."
Destiny. Yeah, like
So
No,
it's something I
not anymore.
appreciate a lot.
honestly, one thing I really appreciate about the game is the fact that it takes your expectations of a horror movie and at times caters to them and at times flips them on their head. When I was saying before about if you do something stupid, for example, in the game, if you, like in a horror movie, every time there's a group of people and they decide to split up, someone, if not all of them, will die.
Yeah.
In this
the
game,
person that's alone will die.
yeah,
It's just fact.
yeah, like that's just how it works, and that's just how, you wouldn't want to split up in real life. So
Also,
in this
like,
game,
in horror movies, the black person always dies first.
yeah, that was unfortunate. But speaking to that, like if once shit goes down in the game, there's a couple of choices where you can split up. Like there's like an actual choice, not it happens because of a story thing. There's an actual choice where you can decide to leave the group, and if you do that, you can kind of guess what happens, and that's on you. Like why would you do that? Obviously, unless you're trying to kill all the characters.
Yeah, that's the left and right choice. Do you go left or right?
Well, that one is kind of that one is more like it's not arbitrary left or right. It's do you decide to leave the group or not? And one of those choices leads to your
it's
death.
more than that. It gives several hints to say, don't go left.
Yeah.
Which is.
But again, and then there's other times. I can't remember the specific example, but then there's other times where it will make you expect something. Plot wise. Usually not choice-wise, but plot-wise, it'll make you expect something because of how horror games or horror movies usually work, and it switches it on you. It usually doesn't lead to any death or danger, just like it's a bit of just a nice little plot twist. It was very well done. The writer on the game is, like I mentioned, an actual movie writer who's done several horror games, and one of the two writers is in the game. he's the model for the hunter, the unnamed hunter.
Flamethrower guy.
Yeah, flamethrower guy.
The dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, I honestly, when we were first watching the game, like I honestly thought there was a dragon. I'm like, what? It
I
even
was very
sounded.
convinced it was a
I was
dragon.
like, this. They're going with the paranormal like,
Fire-breathing
real quick.
werewolf or something crazy.
Yeah, like I was very confused. And like the first, like there's the dude. I thought for sure the story of the game was going to be that there was going to be like 2 or 3 different monsters, and they were all going to try and like going to be fighting each other for these kids. I thought that was going to be the story, but
What is this? A cabin in the woods?
I kind of thought it was going to be that. But yeah, that like they just played really well with the stop.
And when
Stop
we're talking
messaging.
about
I
the
can't block
story
the noise.
And telling the story is in this game the story is told through a series of clues that you can find throughout the world. And one thing that I really enjoy is that there are a lot of redundancy in these clues. And so you can get any handful of these clues and kind of figure out the story itself. And there's a lot of like repeated information just so no matter what, you'll be able to get the story. You'll be able to figure it out.
Unless you miss a lot of the clues.
Unless you're just completely oblivious to everything.
Yeah,
Pretty much, but it's possible, right? Like if you're not
It is.
looking, if you're not looking for certain things, you won't find it.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think this game did the actual like world building / like story really well, because if you wanted to like actually try and figure it out, you can kind of play investigator and like find all the clues, and they weren't like very hidden, at least most of them. They were like, if you just like looked around a little bit in the areas, you would find them, which I think rewarded people who want to go after and collect all the things and find all the things. Or if you're just like a lore story hungry person, you'll find them. But whereas if you're just a person who's like I don't care, like just like let's get to the game, like it'll be like, oh my god, like a chainsaw, awesome, and like it'll carry you through the story, like this happens, this person does this, and that just through line is very, very interesting. But if you want to get into the backstory, lots to find there, and it's all very interesting, and I loved how they did that.
I mean, you also miss out on some of the story if you don't properly do the QTEs. Like,
Well,
it'll skip parts of the story.
I feel like
That is true.
it might actually be impossible to find all the clues on one playthrough. I think certain choices will lock you out of
yeah.
areas.
I mean,
So-
once you start playing too,
Also
you kind
the
of get
totems,
into it,
right?
and like you really don't keep looking for those totems. Like you just want to
Yeah,
progress
some-
and see like,
sometimes-
what the hell's going on.
Yeah, sometimes, or like, yeah, you just want to get to the next area because
Yeah.
A, you want to find out what happened, or B, holy shit, like I feel like I'm going to die, or at least the character is going to die, so I have to get out of here. And sometimes you just miss them, which I think is intentional. I think for you to get the whole story, you have to play through the
You have to
game
play it
multiple
multiple
times.
times.
I think the game, like, it wants you to play this game multiple times.
It kind of
Like-
has to.
It's like
Because
any
there's-
game like that.
There's no other reason to play it again.
Yeah.
Other than that.
I mean, like,
But I mean, there are games that aren't like this. That they're just like you play through it once and you're done, kind of thing. Like not every game designs for replayability.
And I'm shaming those games that you play once and put them down.
Oh yeah.
Shame.
Yeah, I hate those.
I'm not going to dismiss the value of a game that tries to tell you a very specific story, however long or short it is, and that's the story. I think there is definitely value in those, but I'm not going to deny that I appreciate games that I can play multiple times a lot, perhaps even more, just because, like, when I was younger, I used to play Zelda, RPGs, and certain, like, just like this is the story games a lot. As I've gotten older,
Me too.
I've switched almost exclusively to multiplayer games, just because I don't have 3, 4, or 5 hours to sit through a campaign anymore. I can't do that. I might have an hour or two, then take a week off, and by the time I get back, I don't remember what happened. With a multiplayer game, I could just like boom, 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 and same with Until Dawn. It's only like the whole campaign is like 5 or 9 hours, depending on how fast you play it.
Yeah, something like that. Less
You
than
could,
10.
yeah, you can bust through that in a weekend. I can't bust through The Witcher in a weekend. There literally is not enough time.
Believe me, you cannot do it.
I've been trying to beat Witcher for I don't know 2-3 years. No, 2, Witcher 2.
And you're still on 2.
Yeah. I have to beat 3, and that's like 100 plus hours. Anyways, but yeah, I definitely appreciate being able to replay a game, just because it just adds more value. I know I was talking about multiplayer games, now I'm talking about replayable single player games, but it's just like, okay, I have another weekend. I know the story. Let's just try and bust through it and figure out the rest of this. Is there anything else you guys wanted to bring up? Because I do have some points.
With the story, like I really enjoyed the it was like 2 concurrent stories on top of each other.
3, you could say, actually.
What would you say is the third?
Well, if you break it up how they had their story, it was the mystery man, the miners,
The mystery creature.
yeah, the miners, and
I feel that's going into specifics, but in the broad term, it's you have
and what happened
what's
to
going on in
Hannah.
the house and what's going on in the forest, to break it down and give it a less spoilery.
Oh yes. So basically,
What's going on in the house and what's going on outside of the house.
And spoilers, the 2 don't have a direct tie. Like they have like kind of like the house story is a branch off of the forest story.
yeah,
exactly.
they we lost Scott apparently. They do branch off quite drastically. Like
Yeah.
one
But
is
it
dealing
ties
with
back into each other.
exactly. They touch briefly, and then they tie it right back in.
Or like it starts as a branch off. Spoilers. The Wendigos, like so. What Josh does
Wendigo.
is because of the Wendigos and what happened with the Wendigos, and so that branches off there. But then from there, they're 2 separate stories until the Wendigos like started attacking, and then that's the Josh story kind of ended, so to say.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to say, spoiler warning right now. I'm going to say, I'm going to give a rundown of the entire story. So if you don't want to listen, skip ahead. I'm going to hold up my finger.
A rundown of the story.
I think people who are listening, some of them might be interested in hearing how it goes.
Also, going back to replaying, like replayability, I also agree that replaying a horror movie or a game it's not great the second time because you're completely desensitized as to what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of only playing it just to figure out
The tension is gone.
the rest of the missed clues, the
Yeah.
missed story.
All that's keeping you going is your interest in the world.
in the lore.
But yeah, the tension and all the horror, not all the horror, but much of the horror is gone. You're right. Because you've kind of peeked behind the curtain and everything, and you know everything that's going to go down story-wise, and mechanically you know everything as well. I completely forgot what I was saying before now.
I'd say if you have interest in Until Dawn and you have not, and you're listening to this first, stop this and go buy it or watch it. Whatever you do, just do that first. Experience it.
It is very,
and
very
then
cool.
come back to us. Where we can
All
tell
right.
you.
Fine, Taylor, you seem so adamant about it.
I'm very adamant about it.
So we
You
won't get into
fucked
spoilers.
everything up, Jake.
But yes,
Because
there
you
are.
have to have adamant, extreme opinions and views.
If you're
going to
be on the internet. You are absolutely correct. So I'm going to hang up on you because
I am shutting you down.
that is my extreme view. No views, only mine. But yeah, there's multiple different threads in the story between the characters. They kind of break off into 3 groups. Honestly, into 2, really. You're right. And then there's multiple story threads and everything comes together at the end. It's a very well put together story. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
And one thing that about the story is it's like there are these 8 or 9. How many are there? Main characters that you play.
9, I believe.
Okay. So it's there are these 9 characters and you have to get them lived and they're all important shit. And it's really? No, only 2 are actually important. No one else is that important.
For the plot to
two characters-
progress.
Two
For the plot to
characters aren't
progress,
in
yes.
the middle of the game. They just appear at the beginning. and the end.
They kind of just disappeared.
One literally.
That's what I was getting at.
And so it definitely felt like at the beginning it was really nice and they did it. Then the middle happens and then by the end it's oh yeah, they lived too. Nailed it.
Who are you referring
I'm talking
to?
about Matt and Jess. Specifically.
Oh, yeah. They were honestly they're there for very specific purposes. Matt is there just to. Honestly, he's one of the most expendable characters, and he ends up being one of the most expendable characters if you play incorrectly.
He is black.
And Jess is there literally to be annoying. I thought there was going to be. This is a spoiler I will give away. If you think the entire time that Jess is going to have some redeeming qualities, she's not. She's a total bitch. She is the worst. I hate her.
Jess is my favorite. She is.
That's the Asian girl, right?
Emily.
Emily. Oh no, I'm talking about Emily, not Jess. Sorry. Emily is a bitch. She never has any redeeming qualities.
I was like, wow, how could you say this about Jess?
Jess is the blonde one, right?
Yeah.
The one that goes to the cabin?
The one with Mike.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, she's alright. She's a bit of a bitch, but she's alright. No, Emily is the worst. Oh my god. But yeah.
Oh my god, do you hear what Emily said?
Oh my god.
Oh.
But yeah, some of the characters are very just like they just kind of show up and then
I'm gonna poke her on Facebook.
um,
And then like there's
what the heck is happening with Skype? Oh my goodness.
There's a character Sam who's not really in the beginning. He's in the middle quite a bit, and then at the end is like, yeah, she's important.
Honestly, the joke is that like the actress is fairly well known. I don't know what the hell's going on with Skype right now.
Yeah, like everything's just dead.
Um,
Who will make it to the end of this podcast?
oh god, who will know? Wait,
Comments.
Scott's already gone. Honestly, I think the killer's back. Guys,
Brandon said give him a sec.
the killer's back. Oh! Either Brandon's the killer, or Brandon's gone already, and it's one of us two.
Brandon said BRB. They already got Mike. That was the 1 year before.
Yep.
That was Hannah and the other
We
person.
managed to reanimate him for a while, but he can't, like, we can't do anymore. He's too decomposed.
And so Brandon is just angry with us and is teaching us a lesson. This is what happens to the podcast.
He killed himself as the murderer?
So
Is that what you're
yes.
suggesting? Because I think that's a very murderer thing to say. I think, guys, I think Taylor's the murderer. It's definitely Taylor.
As a murderer, you can't actually, like, if I say I'm not a murderer, that counts. Like, a murderer has to say, like, I'm a murderer, if you ask him.
Oh,
so saying I'm not a murderer, I'm...
See, as a not murderer, I don't know the rules. So thank you for informing me.
Well, I've
murderer.
encountered people like this before, like Brandon, for example.
Before you murdered him,
Before-
or after. I don't know how
So,
murderers have
to
their arguments.
trick us into thinking he can't be the murderer.
If you guys aren't aware, viewers, we're trying to stall for time, but I don't know how long Brandon's going to be, so I think we can move on. Taylor, is there anything
I
you...
was just hoping we were having an interesting conversation. Why do
I
you
don't-
always interrupt our conversations with talking to the invisible audience that never exists?
Because I really don't want to talk to you. Listen, it had to come out at some point, but I don't care,
In
Taylor.
front of all these four people.
I don't care. Most of those 4 people are us, actually.
Yeah.
Brandon, are you back, and can you tell me
5
how to
minutes,
fix
give
the
him 5
stream?
minutes, give him 5 minutes.
Alright, fine. Anyways, oh, he's there. Okay. I don't know what's happening with Skype. Oh my goodness, we're back. We are live.
Hey, Scott! Did
Oh
you have
my
anything
goodness.
To say about Until Dawn? Like, I don't think you've said anything in this podcast. So
He opened his mouth and something came out a little while ago. Scott, what is your opinion? What is your overall opinion of Until Dawn?
who is your favorite of the 9?
There's the
Mine
next
is
one.
Jess.
There's 9 of them, right? Yeah.
There's 9? Huh? Okay. Yeah, I guess. My favorite of the 9.
Is it the Witch King?
The Witch King?
Yeah.
Who's
You know,
that?
the 9 ring rings.
I don't know. who-
Taylor, as much as I enjoy your Lord of the Ring references, I think we can start wrapping up.
There's 8.
Chris?
We got messed up.
There's 8 playable characters. There's 9
Yeah, because
characters.
Josh is.
Because
Okay,
Josh...
Chris?
Oh yeah, he is played. So there's 9.
Chris is probably.
Anyways, again, I think we can start wrapping up, but so
Oh, cool! I missed the whole thing.
you did. Isn't that just
Okay,
so?
literally. Hold on. Before we
Well,
wrap up.
what do you have to say about the game?
No, but before we even go there.
Scott,
this-
Scott, please tell me Please tell me
listen.
what you think. What do you
No,
think of the game,
you
Scott?
listen, no. You
Scott,
listen, okay.
I'm just trying to let you talk, Scott. What do you think?
Hang up. That's it. Bye. No, but seriously, 3/4 of it, I was like, the video was like 30 seconds to a minute ahead of the audio, so I was like watching your mouths move, and then no, I was hearing you, and then seeing it happen after, like
Scott,
significantly
just-
long after, and I was like, this is weird, and then all of a sudden my screen just went black.
That's a very strange character. I didn't notice that character in Until Dawn.
I said Chris.
Okay. Jacob, who's your favorite?
Good thing you listened, Taylor. Good
I
thing.
I never listened.
really liked Chris. Chris was fine.
Now, Jacob, I'm curious who your favorite character, playable character in Until Dawn is.
Chris. I like Chris a lot, and I ended up liking Mike a lot more than I thought.
Mike's the best.
He
Outside.
is.
yeah,
He's
like
he,
the main
he's the
character.
hero. He's the hero. But I enjoyed
He's
Chris.
Agent Grant Ward. That's his backstory.
Agent Grant Ward.
I enjoyed
Like,
Chris
after
just because
he let that
he
dog
is.
go, that he went to the woods with his friends to sit one last time, and then a year later, one last time.
El Hydra.
Exactly. Anyways, go on, Jacob.
What? No,
You
I don't
don't
care.
care.
I actually don't care.
He also dropped his friends into the ocean. Just saying.
You know,
Brandon,
By the
We'll
way.
make mistakes.
what is your favorite character in Until Dawn?
It was definitely Matt.
Matt?
No, it was Josh. Because he's
Josh
a
was-
good man.
Josh is pretty cool.
Like, he set this entire, like, huge, extravagant plan to fuck over his friends. It was great.
It was pretty great.
that he's kind of crazy.
I enjoyed him a lot.
We
And
relate really well.
I really enjoyed the
Guys,
therapist.
Actually, wait.
Jacob.
My new favorite character, not playable, but it's the
Therapist?
Doctor?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Doctor's amazing.
Dr. Hill. Just his like facial
Fucking-
animations.
Just his whole.
Yeah, it was great. He was
I
awesome.
liked him. I wish he kind of had a more impact, and those psychiatrist moments had a bigger impact on the game, where it kind of.
They were kind of just a way.
That's true.
They were a misdirection basically. It was to
It's so
introduce
creepy as
you.
fuck.
Yeah.
It was. It just.
That's the whole
on
point of it.
retrospect, it's like that
Yeah,
didn't
well,
really do
not
anything.
It only had a very like one of the hints that you can find is Josh's cell phone, where Dr. Hill is trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
That is the only connection between those scenes. But they were very, very cool. They made everything tense, and again, it was another smoke screen to make you think that you had some choice. And it actually did affect the game in some ways.
But
When
in minor ways, not a
Minor.
yeah, like for example, depending on your choices in the game or during certain scenes with him, you will see more. You'll see like more gore or more creepy things depending on what you say are your fears.
And it's not like a
It's
subtle
real
thing either.
creepy by
It's-
the
it's-
end.
Yeah.
It's not
His
subtle either. It's
office,
like, do
his
you
office just
what's
a mess.
what scares you more, gore or cockroaches? And depending on what you choose, it shows up more. And it's like,
Yeah.
bravo, game.
It's
you did
interesting, yeah.
rats.
Like it's nothing
That's
major,
cool.
but it's very,
That's,
very
like,
good.
cool. I think that's cool.
I
How they-
just want more. Like it was a taste, and I was like, ooh, give me more of that, and it wasn't there. And I feel that that's an area where they could improve, for any
Naturally,
other
but-
game.
Like
I feel like overall they did it pretty well.
again,
Like, I'm not
I'm
saying
happy. I'm
anything
happy
is
with
bad. Like I think Until Dawn is a really good game. I think it does a lot of things for the genre, and
But you're just greedy.
I'm looking to the
understand.
future for
I
progress.
which I
I'm a
think
futurist.
brings us to
Not
our
a futurist.
or at least my last question, which is to you guys: do you want to see like a sequel to Until Dawn? Do you want to see an Until Dawn 2?
I mean,
And if you want to elaborate what you want to see, go ahead.
I mean, I would like to see another game like Until Dawn, like, but I don't want to see a sequel because it's not like I feel like it would just be silly and redundant and repetitive.
Yeah.
I agree
Same
100%.
characters.
Yep.
I'd rather see a completely new game
Yeah.
done in the same kind of
Yeah,
style.
same aspect, you know, like same kind of style and stuff like that, but completely new characters, completely new plot line, like everything different. That's all I want
Yeah.
to see.
I would have to agree. I do want to.
I would want to know what happens to Jess though. Like I want more of an epilogue.
Well, her.
Does Mike and Jess get together? I need this.
Well, I mean, it would be hard. She doesn't have a jaw.
Play my.
Anyways, I have to agree with you guys. I do want a sequel. I would love to see an Until Dawn 2 or a spiritual successor. I don't want to see the same characters. I don't want to see anything more to do with Wendigos. As cool as they were, I think that is over.
Yeah.
If they make another game in this, it would have to be maybe tackle a different
zombies
subgenre. Yes, a different subgenre of horror. I would want
zombies.
I really want to see them tackle something like Event Horizon, like a sci-fi horror. Because each
aliens.
Yeah, each of the individual subgenres of horror have their own rules that they kind of play by.
Or even unlike Event Horizon, kind of just like a psychological aspect to it, like no actual enemy, just kind of like no actual thing happening.
Yeah, no overt combat, just like
not
choices and a story and a very coherent story.
Like in Event Horizon, there wasn't actually any aliens or anything. It was just
a blood orgy.
Yeah, it was just made people go crazy.
Yeah,
but that's all psychological.
Exactly.
There wasn't actually anything physical, which would be awesome to see in a game. I think.
I definitely that's more or less it. I want to see something like it, but moving away completely from the story and characters.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't want it to be like the same tropes either. Like they have to. I want them to stay in the horror genre, but explore and play with new tropes of it would be perfect.
Kind of going off topic. Have you guys ever watched or played Outlast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how do you think Until Dawn compares to Outlast? Like, would you want a game kind of like that style
as a horror game?
Like, yeah,
but I feel like they're different.
They are different. They are.
Like,
because Until Dawn is more cinematic, where Outlast is more.
I mean, in Outlast,
jump scares and kind of creepy horror survival. Yeah, exactly.
Because like Outlast, and it's like Outlast is like one person, like trying to find their way around and whatever.
And learn about this asylum.
Yeah. But I mean, and like Until Dawn was the story of a group of people, and like so even just looking at those, they're two very different styles. Like one's you're alone, and the other one's like you're a whole big group, and there's like.
Yeah, I have to agree with Scott. They're both horror games.
They're both good horror games.
Yeah, but the choice between them for me would be completely subjective, just because, when you have much more impact on the world, I can't remember the exact word for it. But
I would play Until Dawn before I played Outlast, just because Outlast would creep the shit out of me, and I probably wouldn't finish it. So.
But also, you'd want to play the game with good
spoiler
ending,
alert.
Right? So,
Outlast will creep the shit out of you.
I played the first 45 minutes of Amnesia, and I'm like, nope.
Since we're talking about Outlast now, I'll just say it. Outlast, I didn't think the last third of it wasn't that good.
I never finished it. I only played a little bit of it.
It drops the ball.
I don't think
after the doctor.
Yeah, Outlast. From what I played, it's not like it has an interesting story, but it doesn't compare to Until Dawn.
The first 2/3 of Outlast are really good. It's just the last third is they drop the ball, and then the DLC Whistleblower. That is a really nice, tight, concise package. Probably the best of Outlast.
I mean, but going back to my question, would you want, like, say the creators of Until Dawn create a game like Outlast? You know what I'm saying? That style.
You have a lot. Sorry, I remember the word. You have a lot more player agency in Outlast. Like you're always in control of your character. Everything revolves around you. There isn't a set story until you find it. Whereas with Until Dawn, like just moving forward, you're uncovering more of the story. Like it's very much more directed. And I think I would want to see.
Cool.
I would want to see. I like the fact.
I would like to see another game more like Until Dawn, but I think I wouldn't be opposed to it, seeing them make a game like Outlast, because Outlast and Amnesia are good games. Like they're.
I'd be curious to see what they do.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see what they did with that. Because I feel like they had a good idea with it.
I'd rather see them make another game like Until Dawn.
Yeah, just because I don't think there are enough of these interactive movie games,
right,
especially in the horror genre. I think they have like a very interesting niche, and they've done the first one so well that
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to stray too far away from that. Do I think they could do a very good game with that? Probably.
Awesome.
I mean, there is DLC for Until Dawn now, and
Is there?
yes, look it up because it was ridiculous. The DLC for Until Dawn, as far as I understand, is a shooter game where you shoot Wendigos.
Of course
Sounds
it is.
terrible.
Well, those kids are really good with a gun. Like
At least
Chris
one of
and
them is.
Chris and Mike. They're sharpshooters.
Yeah, Chris did really good during that first section. That was kind of surprising.
People are jumping at them and like they're really fast. He's just trigger happy. He's just bam bam.
Yeah.
You're dead. Except you're not.
Except for
Apparently,
the
not a
slow
lot of
battle.
people are happy about that deal. So.
No, because it's ridiculous. The game is a story game, and they boiled it down. Not boiled it down. They made it into a shooter. Like, I mean, like, I guess it's kind of cool to have more of that world and more of the Wendigos, just because I think the Wendigos were very, very cool. And that is the one thing I kind of would be. Oh my god! I just realized. I want Until Dawn 2 to be set in space, but the Wendigos are back and they're in space. I want it.
Jason.
I want it so bad. Yeah, it'll
Like
be.
Friday the 13th all over again.
It'll be called
Space.
Until Dawn 2 Wendigo X.
I'm
what
not
you did
too
there.
interested in the space setting just because like Alien Isolation is so good.
No,
Good enough for
Uh,
me.
that game is horrible.
I never
I'd
played
argue
it.
against that.
I never played it, but it did sound. It seemed
If
interesting.
Mike
to
was
me.
here, he would completely agree with me.
I think
I
we
don't
talked about it
care.
recently.
Good, Mike.
Alien Isolation is a game I'd like to play, but I think that kind of wraps us up on our Until Dawn discussion. Unless there's something you guys want to say.
When I talked about choices and how you don't affect choices, one example of not affecting choices is there's a time where you can save a dog or not. And then you save a dog, and essentially what that ends up doing is like the dog dies or the dog walks away, and it's like, well, thanks. Good job.
I feel like the reason the dog is there is for a specific trope, and like just to make you feel companionship.
Specifically, he was there to guide you, so it's
Yeah.
like, this is the path, follow me, and it's like, no, you want to go explore.
But I hated the ending with the dog. Like when it like again
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it died, I was super upset. But learning that if it makes it just walks off and it is never seen again, it was kind of a bummer. But again, that's the game. It had a very specific narrative. It hit all these tropes, but it dropped them as soon as it could to tell this main story.
What did
and-
they
and-
name the dog? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, they named it Indigo.
And
Yeah.
now everybody knows which
Indigo,
one
and then
you want.
they found out there was a Wendigo.
Yeah, Indigos and
No,
Wendigos.
They named it Indigo because of the Wendigos.
Yeah, they named it. Yeah, that's right. They named it Indigo because of the Wendigos. And then
Um,
what was the name of the other dog?
There was another dog.
one that didn't
Oh
even have
fuck! Ah shit! What was it like?
Spock, isn't it?
No,
Something
was
like
it? I can't remember what they named it. Anyways, fuck. I'm just gonna say it.
Either
Go
way, off
watch.
topic.
Just go watch Scary Game Squad with Jesse Cox.
Or-
That was
yeah.
fucking hilarious.
I would say if you are interested in this game, don't watch anything because if you actually want to experience the story for yourself, just play it.
Yeah, you give
Play
the
it.
developer money. Like they did good.
They
Reward
definitely deserve.
Absolutely.
bonus.
Go play this game. I wish I could. I wish I could pick it up. It honestly seems like a very. If there's a second one, I'll just try and get it. Like no matter what, even if it's on a different console, just because. So
Because
cool.
you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like they did a hell of a job on
If
it.
it came on PC, oh my god, just get it on PC. Fucking.
Would you play it though? Like now that you've actually watched it, would you play it if they put it on?
Just because I want to encourage them, and I do want to see how far I would get into the story, I probably would.
I play it because I know how it ends, and I know I won't shit my pants. So
I could
You know what to
100%
expect.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
Super tense situation, but you're not
All the
afraid.
achievables.
But I do think that kind of wraps us up. So saying that, first of all, if you, the viewer, have any suggestions as to what we should do on the show, any criticisms or critiques, please leave them wherever you're watching this in the comments section. I will try and set up a email Maybe it exists when you watch this. You can try pressatapodcast@gmail.com. That is not a thing yet when I'm saying this, but hopefully it will be in the future. Drop us a line there. I'm assuming it'll be you, Taylor. You can follow us on Twitch at press_a_2_podcast. We will stream every Tuesday around 7. We might be moving it to 8. And this podcast is going to be every other week on a different game.
He's old. He doesn't have time for that.
Right?
He's a grandpa. That's his bedtime.
You can also find us on YouTube and Twitter, both at Press A to Podcast. If you type that into Twitter or YouTube, you will find us. Please follow us there. Twitter is the best way to keep track of when we'll be streaming and such.
But the more important question is, what will we be streaming?
Left 4 Dead, Hearthstone.
Next week, I mean.
Next week? We'll have to decide about that. I don't know. Maybe it's Pokemon.
These messages.
Maybe
it's Halo 5.
Right, have to do Halo 5. It looks like.
That
But
was a really good lead-in from Brandon, and Jacob, you dropped the ball.
You really did drop the ball.
well, I was going to try and lead into. This is not the only content that we create. Taylor, you also do something.
We do some good stuff once.
Once in a while. I mean, you can watch our Destiny one. That one was pretty good.
Destiny was a
I
great
have
episode.
a YouTube channel with me and my friends. It's called Views and Throughs. We do video Let's Plays and reviews. We're going to be revamping some stuff soon, and I hope we can put out some content really shortly.
Sounds exciting. Brandon, you also do
Something
create some. Brandon, you also create some content.
Yeah, here and there. I mean, I'll eventually be getting a better internet connection so I can actually stream properly. And you can find me at that link right above at twitch.tv.
Oh, yeah, it is both. All right. Perfect.
Pumpkin.
And then Scott makes pumpkins. Very, very cool pumpkins. Got
That's
it.
just what he
pumpkins?
does.
That is what he does.
Check out his Tinder.
His Instagram. It's called
Hail
you
Hydra
ask me-
slash pumpkin.
Hail Pumpkin.
If you ask me, I will not carve your pumpkin. For you.
You can follow him on Tumblr at the Pumpkin.
Oh, that was amazing.
Wasn't it?
But also, if you go there and say, "Hey Scott," don't be surprised that he freaks out.
Who the doesn't who?
He suffers from amnesia. He doesn't.
Alrighty.
Actually...
That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. The next podcast in 2 weeks from now will be probably Halo 5. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But until then,
Ass motherfuckers.
yes,
It's gonna be
that
Halo
is
5.
exactly it. And it's not because I'm just too lazy to deal with your bullshit. Anyways, guys, have fun and good luck.
Well,
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
why am I laughing? Did you not see him?